Hey there, gang. Time for another unboxing video, and like the last video, this is an upgrade box. What do I mean by that? Well, stick around if you like comic books. We're going to have some fun. Hey there, Bubby. Welcome to Shanghai. My name is Duke, and this is another unboxing video. So what do I mean by an upgrade box? Well, these are books that were in our inventory to be sold in multi-book lots, but I have gone through a few of the boxes and picked out things that I think could be sold as singles. And so what's the difference? Well, rather we sell something as a multi-book lot on eBay or as a single lot of one issue, we like to make at least $10 on that. Anything less than $7, we are actually losing money. You know, when you consider the cost of acquiring the collection and then the overhead of lights, heat, rent, and all of the labor costs involved with the operation. So we like to make at least 10 bucks. And a lot of these books that are in our inventory, and you've seen the videos that I have shot there in the warehouse, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of books, more than we can get to in, well, I won't say a timely fashion, but they do tend to pile up. So some books have been in those boxes in our inventory for 6 months, 9 months, a year and a half. And the market has changed a lot over the last year or so in the post-COVID atmosphere. And so a lot of books that, should have been in lots a year ago really could be sold as singles today, really have a shot at selling for at least 10 bucks. So let me go ahead and pull a stack out of this box. And so your job in this video is to just kind of bear with me, judge yourself. Do you think a particular, and I didn't mean to have this face down, but it just worked out that way. Do you think a particular book will sell for at least 10 bucks, or in your estimation, should it have remained as part of a multi-book lot, in order to combine books to get to that $10 threshold? So you let me know in the comments below. Please like, share, subscribe, do all the groovy things, and let's start taking a look. So here you've got a Bronze Age Superman at 25 center. I can see why that would have been put in a multi-book lot at one time, but I'm going to take a shot. I think that that's going to be about a $10 book. This is probably around 76 or so, the line of DC Superstars, but it looks to be in fairly decent shape. Have I got this whole stack upside down? Yeah, most of them. So here's a Bronze Age book, the original showcase run. Now this is one, you see it's got a label on here. Some of the books in here were initially on eBay as a lot. And you saw a recent video where I sorted through those books that either went unsold or never got paid for. And so some of those I picked out, decided that, well, we could split up those lots and sell those books as singles now. So these ones that you see with a label on them, those are all from that. And there will be generally at least a couple of books in each bag. So Showcase 84, Nightmaster, that's something that, again, a few years ago would have been, $2 or $3, but I feel like even though most people don't know who Nightmaster is, he wasn't used for a lot of years, and then he appeared in, what the heck was the name of that title? It had Blue Devil and Detective Chimp. Oh, I can't remember the name of the title. And it was a book that was on my pull list, and I was reading it too. I can't remember. But he was part of that, and I think that's probably the most recent time he's been used. Manhunter 2070, and I don't think that has ever appeared since its showcase run. It was a 3-issue run in showcase, and I think that was his one and only shot. So that being the case, there's nothing new to kind of drive sales, but it's a 15th center, Bronze Age, early Bronze Age, so I'm going to take a shot and think that'll sell for 10 bucks. Captain Marvel 4 and 5. Well, those are definitely, well, I say Captain Marvel. Shazam. And, again, for a lot of years, this was a hard title to give away because, DC tried to revive it with the original Golden Age kind of storytelling and art style, because that had been so popular in the golden age, more popular even than Superman, outselling Superman. And he actually had C.C. Beck, the original artist, but it just didn't go. It was out of date, old-fashioned. Nobody wanted it. But this is something that has taken off, and I think it's because these books do have a lot of charm, a lot of interest. I don't know how many people buy them actually read them, but if they did, I think they would be quite happy. But here you can see by issue 18, they've changed up the art style. C.C. Beck is gone, and they're trying to modernize things a little bit. So there's number 18. Who called for help? Ribbit. I did. And who is this? The world's mightiest villain? Well, that's not Black Adam. Who is that? That's like the reverse Shazam. I actually knew who he is. Saturday's newest TV star. And I don't know if it's on HBO Max, but it was on the DC Universe app, the Shazam show from the 1970s. And that was, it was a lot of fun then. I tried rewatching some of them once it was on the DC Universe app, and they haven't really aged well. They're all kind of morality tales, and at the end, the actor, I think it's Jason Boswick, is that right? Would come out and give a little, speech about what we learned this episode. So this is interesting. This is both a photo cover and an infinity cover. So you have people who collect photo covers. You have people who collect infinity covers. Infinity being, it's a picture within a picture within a picture, theoretically to infinity. So that could sell on a couple of levels. And here we have Mr. Takitani. Oh, I knocked over Lightning Lad. Let's pick him back up. And I have my, come on there, Garth, you can do it. I have my ring on this time. I did a last video and didn't realize until afterwards I forgot to put my ring on. Boom, boom, boom. Takitani. Here's number 10 and 11. $1974. Now this one should definitely do well. Number 12 here, a 100-page giant. Because that is a nice shape. And it's kind of hard to get these 100-page giants. They tended to come off the press with the spine crushed. And Marvels, the giant-sized Marvels of the same period, are more notorious for that particular defect than the DCs. But even the DCs, between coming off the press crushed or just getting mangled in handling over the years from readers, getting one in high grade is tough. So that should, and you can see this one's got a little bit of a bend right there. But that one should do well. And this is another one. This one's in less great shape, but still pretty good. Should do well. I predict more than $10. We'll see if I'm right. And you'll leave a comment down below if you think there's a book here that I completely shanked on. If there's something that you're like, no, there's no way that's going to bring $10, let me know. I might have time to pull it out of the stream. Now, these are tough books. The Korak and the Tarzan books, I found, do not sell well for us at all. They'll go for $2 or $3 or $4, but this is a high-grade book. I mean, fairly high-grade. That's a very fine anyway. So I figure, any Silver Age book in very fine should be a single. But we'll have to see. Pinup. Is that the first? Is that number 1? Number 11. Never mind. And they have great covers. The insides weren't always, that spectacular. They were kind of workmanlike. But they had nice covers. And of course, Korak looked exactly like Tarzan. Wanted. This was a reprint title. This says, "Damn it, Garth, are you drunk?" You know what? Screw it. You're out. Let's see. Who's got a better chance of staying upright? Let's go with Cosmic Boy. Cosmic Boy should stay upright because Lord knows he's got a stick up his ass. All right. Boom. And this particular Cosmic Boy figure has magnets in his hands, so he can actually use his magnetic powers. So I remember right, he came with a couple of ball bearings. But I don't have those. I'm one of those idiots who takes my action figures out of the packaging to play with them. So this was a reprint series, Wanted, the World's Most Dangerous Villains, number 2. And it reprinted different stories that featured different villains. This is another thing that, is this, now I've got a whole stack. Before they were backwards and now they're upside down. Yep, they're all upside down. All right, let's do this. So Weird Worlds presents Iron Wolf. That's something that, again, doesn't really sell that well, but I'm taking a chance. It's a, it's a 20-cent book, early 70s. It's in high grade, so we'll see how it goes. Who was, I want to say this was, Michael William Kaluta. So you'd think a Kaluta cover would sell well. Did he do the inside art as well? Nope, Howard Chaykin did the inside art. That's Hurley Howard Chaykin. You can see some glimmer of Chaykin there, but it's still fairly early in his career before he's really developed that style he's known for. Now, a lot of these books came in lots. I noticed they've got numbers written on them, and I have no idea what that number is. I don't know if some kid numbered his books, like this is my 725th comic book, or if that number had some different meaning. And I think that might have been why they were, initially sorted to go into multi-book lots. One, because, Weird Worlds present Iron Wolf. That's something that's, probably not going to sell that well. But again, it's high grade. It's early 70s. The market's really taking off on just about everything. And I'm going to take a chance on it. And here's number 8. Number 7, again, you get a number written there. I have no idea what that's supposed to signify. Yeah, I don't believe it's not an arrival date. It's not something that, a retailer or a distributor put on the book. I'm assuming that's the original owner did that. This one's a little lower grade. It's got some tick marks, but when you put up, a run of different issues, you might as well have them all up. Somebody will bid on them all just to try and win them all. So now we've changed over to Edgar Rice Burroughs' Weird Worlds. Oh, we did that before. Yeah, Iron Wolf got the boot. Oh, no, I take that back. I'll cut this section out, because obviously I don't know what I'm talking about. It started out as Burroughs' Weird Worlds, and then transferred over to Iron Wolf. So these are the earlier issues. All right, so there's 6. Phantom Stranger. And see, this is one of those lots I was talking about. So there are 7 books in here. Let me open this up. So this is still in the bag from the collection we got. Lord knows how long we've been sitting on it, but these Phantom Strangers, and Jim Aparo, I love Jim Aparo, especially this kind of early 70s Aparo. It's just great stuff. But again, there's an issue, there's a number written there. I don't know what it signifies. 630. And it's always a different number. I never see the same number repeated. So I think some kid was keeping track of how many comic books he had by writing the numbers on them. That's my theory anyway. And it's unfortunate, but otherwise the books are in decent shape. These look to be at least 7.0s. A lot of them 7.5s and 8s. Because that's not an arrival date, written by the retailer or the distributor, it's something that got on the cover after it was purchased, then that does lower the grade. It would be judged more harshly, but it's It's still a good condition book, and Phantom Stranger is a book that's, I won't say hard, but it's harder than some to find in high grade. It's a weird looking Frankenstein, but it's kind of like a hippie Frankenstein. Phantom Stranger 27, 28, 29, 30. I would think the Phantom Stranger could make an appearance today as an ongoing series, as maybe kind of like an anthology horror title, with the stranger acting as kind of the host, maybe taking part in the occasional story. I would think that would make a good book. I would do that if I was DC. Here's DC's version of The Shadow. Actually, first, there's a issue of The Unexpected, number 138. And all those mystery books, Unexpected, House of Secrets, House of Mystery, they are likewise harder to find, not necessarily hard, but harder to find in high grade than the superhero books, largely because they were mostly collected or read by, kids who read them and didn't, they weren't these anal fanboys who put them directly into plastic sleeves. So there's a Shadow number 6, number 7. That looks like, it's Frank Robbins. This series only lasted about 12 issues. Joe Kubert cover. Number 10 with a Kaluta cover. So, I could have sold all those as a lot, but I think we've got to the point that those might work as singles. And again, these mystery books, these mid-70s mystery books from DC, same as the war books, they are highly collectible these days simply because they're relatively harder to find in, higher grades, fine, very fine 7.0 and above. Back into some Werewolf by Nights that we saw in the last box. Is 15 against Dracula. 14. Number 10. 7. This one's got a weird, I don't know if that's a dust shadow or what that is at the top. But, it's number 7. I think it'll do well. This one's got a big fold here. It's in kind of lower grade, but, I think it'll do okay. This one, maybe should have gone into a lot, but it's issue number 100. So, not that, DC really made a big deal at this time about anniversary issues, but it also, can you see that? Some little asshole drilled a hole all the way through the book. I wonder if that's so it could be hung, on a hook in the outhouse. Like the Farmer's Almanac has that hole in it. That's weird. But I still think, number 100, it's probably a 5. Maybe with that hole, it's a 4. I'll decide when I grade it. I still think that's going to bring $10. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Here's number 33 of Weird War Tales. I'm sorry. Number 32. Number 31. And although they're not in any of these issues, Weird War in its latter part of the run would feature the Creature Commandos. And I could go for a Creature Commandos ongoing title these days. I think that would be fun. Here's some World's Finest. And again, we've got this is a Super Sons book, I think. Yeah, Super Son. Love the Super Sons. And again, we've got that number written on the cover. And World's Finest, it's funny. Just like Spectacular Spider-Man doesn't sell anywhere near as well as Amazing Spider-Man, World's Finest doesn't sell anywhere near as well as, say, Action or Detective or Superman or Batman. And sometimes, your world's finest books, you just want to put them right in a lot because you know they're not going to do that well. But again, these are high grade. They're early 70s. I'm taking a chance. Lois, during the brief period when she had long hair, Lois has almost always been short-haired, but long-haired and miniskirts. That's some groovy go-go Lois right there. And this is, we did transition, by the way, from World's Finest to Lois Lane, number 125. I think that's a book I actually need in my own collection. Huh. And what the hell kind of costume was that? She looks like she's one of the Wonder Twins. She's kind of slutting up here with these thigh-high stockings and the short shorts. She's got back to the short hair, though. 119. Legion of Superheroes, number 1. So you may not know it, but the Legion had a tryout series. Well, I won't say a tryout series, but it did work out that way. In the early 70s, Carmine Infantino, who was a longtime artist, became the publisher of DC Comics. He had this strategy of just flooding the stands with books. And the reason for this is that for many years, throughout most of actually all of the Silver Age, really, DC actually distributed the Marvel books. DC's sister company, Independent News, distributed the Marvel books. Marvel was distributed under its own company, Atlas, but Martin Goodman folded Atlas and threw in with the American News Company distributor. Within a year or so, that company went out of business, part of a federal racketeering probe. And I presume that the reason that he threw in is he got some incredible rates. People were starting to leave. Dell Comics had left American News. And I imagine that he got enticed with, some kind of fantastic rate. But it only lasted about a year or so when American News collapsed. So, Martin Goodman either had to rebuild his distribution branch from scratch or go to another distributor. So he went to Independent News. And because Independent News was owned by, the same folks that own DC Comics, they were like, well, yeah, we'll distribute your books, but we're not going to carry any more than 8 titles a month. Well, come the late 60s, early 70s, both DC and Marvel fade from private ownership into corporate America. DC ends up purchased by the Kinney National Corporation. Marvel ends up in the, first it was something chemical, but it ended up being renamed to Candace Corporation. Well, Candace had its own distributor. It had Curtis Circulation, because one of the other companies in the Candace hierarchy was the Saturday Evening Post. So anyway, Marvel expanded because they were suddenly able to distribute as many books as they wanted to. And I have seen actually things that have said that Candace only kept Marvel going in order to support Curtis Circulation. That if Curtis Circulation didn't need the Marvel business, the Marvel books were selling so little at that point, comparatively, 2 or 3 times what they sell today, but compared to the height of the Silver Age or even the Uranium Age, that they might well have folded Marvel completely. Because at that time, you didn't really recognize these properties as, for their vast merchandising potential. And certainly, turning superheroes into movies and television programs was kind of just in its nascent stages. So anyway, he said, drawing out another long and pointless story, when Curtis took on Marvel and started distributing the books, and Marvel started taking up more and more rack space because it was putting out more and more books, Carmine Infantino's strategy was to just flood the stands with DC books. And he did that, and you'll see in the early 70s, 72, 3, 4 or so, DC put out just a plethora of short-lived reprint titles. Most of them only lasted 2, 3, 4 issues, and they were all reprints of earlier material. One of them was the Legion of Superheroes. And so this reprinted stories from the Adventure Comics run of the 1960s. But apparently it sold well enough. At this point, the Legion was in limbo. They had started throughout the 60s in adventure comics. And then towards the end of the 60s, as his career was winding down, Morton Weisinger did a flip. He moved Supergirl into adventure comics, moved the Legion into the backup slot in Action Comics. That lasted, I don't know, 15, 20 issues or so. And then the Legion went into limbo. They didn't have a home. And so as a result of this, and it had been 2 or 3 or 4 years since the Legion had appeared anywhere, they started doing Legion backup stories in the Superboy comic, and eventually the Legion would take over the Superboy book. It would become Superboy and a Legion of Superheroes, and eventually, bye-bye Superboy, just the Legion of Superheroes. So anyway, that's the historical significance of that book. It's like the one, I call them the flood books. It's the one flood book that actually worked out into anything long-term for DC. But most of them were just a means of flooding the stands to try and eat up rack space from Marvel, to push Marvel off the stand. So there's number 3. Here's a 100-page giant of Flash, number 229. Nice shape, ragdoll. All right, let's get back to the books. And I'll stop yakking at you, and I'll just show you some books. And this, I think, we've got a big old run of Tomb of Dracula coming at you. And Tomb of Dracula is something that, again, kind of like Werewolf by Night, it didn't sell all that well as a back issue for a lot of years. But it's recently taken off. I mean, you can see here, at some point, this book was, going for 95 cents, less than $1. But I think all of these are going to bring at least $10 these days, and probably quite a bit more. So that was 23, there's 25, here's 26. I'll go through these pretty quick because I don't, unless we see a Blade cover, I don't know that I have a ton to say about any of these books, although I am trying to put together a Tomb of Dracula run myself and not having much luck because, again, I should have tried this about 10 years ago. Lately, all of these books, I might bid on them myself, but they will all get out of my price range in a hurry. Here's Brother Voodoo. And even, the ones with these tick marks here and maybe, in mid-grade 6 or 5.5, that one was only 75 cents. These should still do well. Number 37. Number 40. Has this got 2 in it? Nope, it's just... Look at this. Sealed it with masking tape. 41. That's a lower grade book, so, maybe that's one that I'll pull. I might, make a lot out of all the ones that are in lower grade. Here's Blade. Number 42. There's another Blade. Number 45. And these are kind of stuck together, and I think it's because of that damn masking tape. Yeah, the adhesive has kind of soaked through the tape itself, and now it's sticking to that other bag. You know what, Rock? I'm going to have to move you to the side so I've got some room to work with here. Because I want to try and get these off without just yanking on the book. 47. We might see some price variant. I think Tomb of Dracula has a couple of price variants in it somewhere. There's number 49. Number 51. 52. I think this is the one that has a pricing variant, but that's not it. Number 30, there's Blade. Number 54. 55 with the the epileptic seizure cover. And the Bruce Almighty Moon. 57. Yeah, got some more issues there. 58. with another Blade appearance. 59. 61. 62. 63. Dracula has lost. See, that one's a little rough. See, it's bent. This is a case. You can see that bend there. That's a case where it like slid underneath the book that it was in the box with. 65. 66. I think Dracula only went up into the 70s. 67. Lilith. 68. I don't think that's the last issue, but it's the last one we have. Here's a Conan King Size Special #1. And remember, I noted that Marvels were more notorious for having crushed spines. You can see that there, on their giant size books. There's King Size #2, King Size #3, also starring King Kull. Here's some earlier Draculas. There's #9. 11. Why don't we have #10? That's the first appearance of Blade. So obviously, when we got this collection, #10 was carved right out. Neither sold as a single right away or sent to CGC. 12. 15. 16. That's a nice cover. Back from the Grave. 17. A vampire rides this train. Oh no, wooden bullets. Would that even work? Could you fire a wooden bullet? I would think that it would just sort of explode in the chamber, but I don't know. Doctor Strange, #20, with the Xandar the Merciless. Oh no. #25. So yeah, these last couple of boxes, if you're a fan of Bronze Age Marvel, you've been digging it. Digging it. Digging it, digging it. It's 36. And yeah, so I think these later runs here, number 70, 71, we're up into the 65-cent era. So that is late 80s, mid 80s. These might go into a lot. I'm not convinced those will get $10 each. I think at this point in the box, I was just grabbing stuff. This one might. It's the last issue. Doctor Strange only went up to 81, so that might. Marvel Premiere 13. That definitely will. Oh, I'm running out of space. All right, Cosmic Boy, you can come back. I think. But, you behave yourself. Boom, boom, boom. Doctor Strange, Master of the Mystic Arts. And this was in here for $1.50. It's going to go for more than that. Detective 527. Why did I pull this one out? Why did I? What is 527? Can't remember. I'm still going to try it as a single, though. Here's #3 of Marvel Premiere. #4. 5. 6. 7. It's kind of a weird costume for Clea there. Weird look on her face, too. That's a fuck it face. That's a behind deadline. Just boom, boom, boom. There you go. That's a face. #8. Oh, we're starting to get some stuckies again. 9. 10. 11. And we spoke earlier about, Black Panther getting added to Jungle Action. But Marvel Premiere was launched, not as it would later become a kind of a showcase tryout book, but it was a series for Doctor Strange. And the Doctor Strange series, the original one that continued from Strange Tales, had been canceled. And so why they relaunched Doctor Strange, not in his own title, but in Marvel Premiere, I couldn't tell you. Because he did launch with him, in number 1 as an ongoing kind of a series. And he lasted until about issue 14, and then Iron Fist took over at 15 and ran to somewhere in the 20s. Still, 15 cents. Anytime you see still the cover price, you know that it's almost certainly soon to be no longer that cover price. Wail of the Demon Queen. Some more Iron Mans. These should all do pretty well. It's a little lower grade, but even so, it's got Crimson Dynamo and Titanium Man. The Minotaur. We're back to some Werewolves by Night. Got 2 werewolves. The Face of the Fiend. Number 23. Arr. Arr. He's a pirate. Arr. Pirate werewolf. There you go. That's a high concept. Why is there not a pirate werewolf comic? A pirate ship that's all werewolves. Oh my God. Was it this video or the last one? I was saying that I could go for a new Creature Commandos title. How about a pirate title where the ship is all manned by monsters, werewolves and vampires and mummies and Frankensteins and the like? That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Monster pirates. I want that book. Oh my God. That's a great idea. If Marvel and DC still took unsolicited submissions, I would totally do that. I'd make that my round robin pitch. You've seen that goofy thing that DC is doing. Their round robin idea. There's 25. 26. Between the legs shot. There's another stucco. Except because of masking tape. Yes, masking tape. Kids, do not seal your comic book bags with masking tape. Oh, look, it's the flying spaghetti monster. You could start a religion out of this. That's the reason I do these videos. It's not for you, really. It's just to entertain myself. Glitter Knight. I don't think. Maybe it's like a disco character, but I don't think you'd get away with calling a character Glitter Knight. Dr. Glitter Knight, even. Huh. More Dr. Glitter Knight. That's definitely something for Justice League Queer, isn't it? Not that there's anything wrong with that. Here's a Bruce Almighty Moon. Red Slash. Not Red Flash. Red Slash. That child. That is one giant child. She's at least as tall as he is. And here's some more. And they're stuck. Damn it. 38. Brother Voodoo. We haven't seen any with Moon Knight. Those I'm sure got pulled. Especially the first one, obviously. But these ones with Brother Voodoo in them should do well. I would think. I betcha. You watch, and when these go up on eBay, sellerName.com comics, you watch and see if the ones with Brother Voodoo don't do by, some logarithmic logarithmic exponential number that much better than the other issues. Number 3, though, that'll do well. Was that other one? Oh, yeah, that other one was number 2. I didn't even notice. And there's 4 with this Wolverine before he got his claws. I don't think you knew that. Is that? Oh, that's Plug. And one of you, I missed it in the unboxing, noticed that, what was it? The Monster of Frankenstein books, there were a couple of them that were signed in silver ink, Plug. I have no way of knowing if he actually signed them himself. It was in a similar style with the same kind of G, and I assume it was him. Those will go up, assuming the lister does it right. They'll just say, Plug signed on cover. They won't say signed by Plug because we can't prove that. But, yeah, one of you noticed that. I missed it completely in the unboxing. So when I got to grading the books, I sat down because of the comment and was very careful to make sure I noticed it. Carnival of Fear. All right, last stack from this box. There's number 7, Werewolf by Night. Now you watch, I'll get burned, and these will only sell for about $5 or $6 each. But I feel like these are all poised to do at least $10 each. It's number 9. Kind of looks like Doctor Strange, but it's not. Number 10. 11. Another one that's stuck. 12. 13. Taboo. 14. Dracula. Some of these we've seen already. Boom, boom. That one's a little lower grade. That one might get pulled. Again, I might. It's got like a paper shear right there. And some trouble going on up here. So I might, the ones that are in lower grade, I might pull them and make, a lot out of the lower grade ones. 16. Yes, we have definitely seen some of these before. We had multiple copies. 20. And let's see, here's an Amazing Spider-Man annual, number 11, 1977. Spawn of the Spider. And so a young Todd McFarlane saw this book and he was like, that gives me an idea. And, boom! We had a big long talk about the Legion earlier, so the Legion only went as far as Adventure Comics 380, and then Supergirl took over the title. But for this one special issue, number 403, and this was an all reprint issue of earlier Legion stories, and it's the first book with an actual Legion of Superheroes logo on the cover. The Adventure Comics just said Adventure Comics, starring Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes in block letters. It's the first one to have some kind of Legion actual logo on the cover. Interesting thing about this book, though, it's all reprints, but it also has some original material. Here's a diagram of the Legion headquarters. But this is the thing that's cool. These are all reader-submitted costume ideas. Fashions from fans. And although it wouldn't end up looking exactly like this costume for Duo Damsel would end up being used. The idea that when she splits, when she's joined, she's both colors, and when they split, they're each their own color. Satin Girl's pink bikini was submitted by a fan, by the way. And does it actually say? Yeah. K. Haven Metzger. And I can't remember. He went on to do something significant fan-wise. But yeah, so that's a fan design costume that was used for many, many years. The Phantom Girl did not get used, but for this kind of hole motif, the costume she would eventually get in the Bronze Age would have kind of those holes at the sides and the shoulders. That Light Lass costume never got used. This kind of Native American look for Shrinking Violet would get used when Dawnstar was introduced, something like it. This, I got to move you again. Rock there, sorry. So, this Ultra Boy costume, blessedly, was never used. This Karate Kid costume and this Princess Projector costume, those both got used in, I think, a single issue of Superboy. You know, I told you how after that short run of Legion of Superheroes books, that 4-issue run that was part of the Flood, the Carmine Infantino Flood, the Legion started appearing in backup stories in Superboy, and in some one of those, before they ended up taking over the title, these two costumes were actually used in one issue each. I can't remember if it's the same issue or not. So there's a goofy... not that Cosmic Boy would ever be subject to goofy costumes, but there's one. I think this Phantom Girl, Shadow Lass costume was used for one issue as well. This kind of looks like a dress uniform. The Night Girl costume was never used. The Colorful Kid costume was kind of used. There was something similar to that for an issue or two. Here's another version of the Saturn Girl costume with the jacket. Of course, jackets would become a big thing during the 5 years later run, so I guess that presaged that a little bit. And so I guess that's it. The rest is all the reprints. But anyway, that's kind of what's interesting about that book. If you didn't know. But anyway, that's it. That's that box. That's everything we had. Let me know. You think everything in there will go for at least $10, or do you think I shanked? I chose wrong, and some of those should have stayed set aside for multi-book lots. You let me know. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment below. We'll see you in the next video. And until then, goodbye, good luck, and please be good to each other.